At some point in life, nearly every one of us finds ourselves pulled under by a tsunami wave of pain, overwhelmed by something large and sudden and personally devastating. It can come crashing into our lives in any of 1,000 ways. A phone call from the doctor about a lab report that looks suspicious. A wooden-faced supervisor who calls you into his office just before lunch and says, "We're downsizing the company. We have to let you go." A brief, cold conversation with your spouse one morning, and then the shocking words, "I'm leaving. I've found someone else." A late-night knock on your door from a highway patrol officer. "Your daughter's been in an accident. And I'm sorry to tell you this, but she didn't make it." A quick, stricken glance from the obstetrician. "I'm not picking up any heartbeat from the baby." At such times, heartache and despair rush over us, pulling us down into a place of darkness until we wonder if the light of hope will ever again penetrate our lives. This is when the hurt runs deep. As human beings, hurts and wounds, bumps and bruises, disappointments and sorrows come bundled along with our birth certificate. Every one of us, starting in childhood, had to learn how to deal with the skinned knees, hurt feelings, dashed hopes, and heartbreaking setbacks common to fallen humanity. How well we cope with these difficulties, challenges, and unexpected obstacles determined in a large measure what sort of man or woman we've become and how we navigate our way through life. But there are storms and there are storms. It's one thing to get caught in a spring thunder shower. It's another to find yourself in a Category 5 hurricane. It's one thing to trip over a hose and fall in your backyard. It's another to fall out of a third-story window. It's one thing to be rejected for admission to college. It's another thing to be betrayed and rejected by the one you love with all your heart. It's one thing to lose your car keys. It's another to lose a long-Ford baby in a miscarriage. It's one thing to get knocked off your feet by a surprise ocean wave when you're looking in the other direction. It's another to be swallowed by a tsunami of pain. Sometimes the pain we experience goes much, much deeper than surface pain. Sometimes the heartache we have to endure pierces deeper than we ever thought possible, utterly overwhelming us. In my own life, if you had told me 4 years ago the events and circumstances that would come crashing down around me in just 48 months, I never would have believed you. I could never have anticipated or even imagined such things. It wasn't supposed to be this way. It didn't have to be this way. But now there's no denying the backwash of pain and sadness I feel. These aren't the common garden-variety wounds that we all encounter in the course of life. This is pain that goes bone deep. So where do we turn when we find ourselves beyond our own ability to cope? What hope do we have that the pain will ever go away?